Do you dare to measure your impact, the added value, the contribution of your workshop on the spot with your participants? And how do you do that? Do you dare to be transparent about if people, the participants, are satisfied, if they really gained what they have expected from the workshop or what their objectives were? Well, when I started to work as a facilitator, trainer, educator, coach, I've done all several things. I found it pretty scary to be transparent about that. You know, I had some plan in my mind, and I was just hoping that the session would turn out great because I had these amazing tools. And then in the end, there was maybe an evaluation form, and I looked at it when I was home, or maybe I didn't really have the nerves to look at the evaluation forms within a week because I felt that it would disencourage me to continue my work. Well, let me surprise you, or let me tell you that measuring impact can actually be very helpful for the session itself. So it can influence the session itself in a positive way. So how can you pull this off? Well, I would recommend you to ask for the expectations of the participants at the beginning of the session. Even though they might have written it on a form before they even attended your course or whatever, or did their payments on forehand, but really to do this when you're together in the space itself and ask, hey, what are your expectations? Or maybe you have an online session, you can do the same. Then write it down on a flip chart or a whiteboard for everyone to see this there, you know. So one person could say, okay, I'm here to gain more tools, to know how to unlock human potential in 20 minutes. The other one might say, okay, I'm here to get engaged with like-minded people and to grow my network. The other might say, I'm here to get more entrepreneurial skills and how to know and to get to know more about how I can make my training company to be profitable. Could all be various objectives, and you write them down. And then, of course, if there's an objective like I want to find my future husband in the session, of course, it's up to you to also kind of temper the expectations and say, okay, this workshop is really about you obtaining tools to create a supportive work environment and to unlock supportive mindsets or entrepreneurial mindsets even, and indeed to get engaged and also to know how you can kickstart your business and make it profitable. However, this is not relationship therapy, you know. So you can always manage that on the spot, and of course, this would be an exception if it happens. But still, even if at the end of the session you feel like, hey, I want to help this person, you can still say, okay, you know, after the session, I can give you a PDF, or I can send you a blog post of mine that will show you how you can apply these techniques in your own relationship, for example. So it's, you know, it's really up to you how far you want to go and how far you want to detach yourself from your target audience or from your niche, because being a relationship therapist is a different ball game than being a facilitator of change management, maybe for organizations. So yeah, that's up to you to decide. However, those objectives are there on the whiteboard, and what you will see that during the session, because it's so top of mind of people, they will actually feel self-responsible, or this is kind of self-fulfilling what will happen, that people will see that in the exercises that you do. So when there's reflection time, the person that wants to engage with like minds most probably will ask for business cards, or will see the opportunity to collaborate with one and the other. And the person that wants to harvest new skills will really pay attention on the exercises itself, and especially when most of the time I provide them with videos afterwards, they can apply it in their own work practice. And the person that wants to make it a money running business, profitable business, I should say, he or she might ask you, okay, Jess, this is really beautiful, but how did you pull it off? How is it possible that this is a profitable business? Because I don't see it yet. So then you can ask that question. You can answer that question, of course, and show some examples. And yeah, the magic here is that this person is keeping himself engaged and also self-responsible to really obtain that what he or she needs from the session. So it's not like you will read through your evaluation forms, you know, a week after when you're in a really happy mood, because otherwise you do not dare to read those evaluation forms, and then you see all this feedback that is might sometimes really surprising for you, but you cannot do anything about it anymore. So another thing is how to measure impact. It's actually during break times. You can talk with people during a coffee. Often I do this one-on-one, like, hey, how is it for you? What do you think the group needs? Is it okay? So actually check the temperature of what you're providing is going okay. And yeah, you need to be brave for that and very open. But what you will see is that people appreciate it a lot when you ask these questions, because they see that you're serious about that you're really there to contribute to their work or life experience, rather than just obtaining some money or something from the session. So the more you are serious about that and you really want to serve them, it's all about the participants. They will sense that, and they will give you right feedback in order to improve your session, maybe even. Maybe someone will say, yeah, it was a lot of talking, a lot of theory. I would love to get in action a little bit, and I think others share that with me. So then maybe it's up to you to start the next session with some music, some energy. So yeah, you actually respond to their requests. And don't take the feedback personally, seriously, of course, but don't take it personally, because it's all about that moment in time, right? You provide thousands of sessions, and they might be different always. So really use it from a professional point of view. And at the end of the session, I often say, okay, well, here's the whiteboard, here are the objectives. And then I run through the objectives. So, or I ask the people one by one. So your objective, do you feel that you have, embraced them? Did you see that back in this session? And 9 out of 10 people will say yes. I did get to know more people, and yes, I know more about business skills now, how I can make my training company profitable, and yes, I have obtained new skills and tools to apply to more in my work practice. And by that, you kind of close that part. It's kind of a closure, I wanted to say. And then if you want to take it a step further, you can even ask ratings, You say, okay, I want to do some rating here. What from 0 to 10, what grade would you give this session as we are in the here and now? Because maybe some impact will evolve later after the session. And then people might say an 8 or 9. And then you can ask even, okay, how can I make it a 10? And then they will say that, in a personal way, not only by writing it down on an evaluation form. And you get this free feedback for you to implement in your next session, which is very valuable. And if you do this often, after a while, you will see you get straight 10s and 5-star reviews on a row, because you know how people work and what their needs are. And you also get the trust and self-confidence that you can actually facilitate your participants in any form or shape, as long as you're open about it, and that you know what they want, and that they know that you're serious about what you do and you're really there for them. So I wish you all the best, and let me know if this was very valuable for you, if you already work with this method or strategy. And I'm very curious how you measure impact of your sessions. Let us know by writing a comment.